We just received a shocking Yankees trade update as a star infielder makes a wild decision on his future in 2026. And this will tell us everything we need to know regarding this player and the Yankees' approach this offseason. We'll break this down and more on another edition of Yankees Digest. What's going on, guys? Alex Brooks back here on Yankees Digest to give you guys everything surrounding the New York Yankees. We're in the offseason. If you see that the recent videos on this channel, we're getting into all the offseason content here on Yankees Digest. Aaron Judge just won his third MVP. If you want to know a little bit more about that, we just released a video yesterday, so tune into that after you tune into this one, but we will get right into this video. But before we get into everything surrounding this star infielder, currently at 9,585 subscribers on the channel, so if you're a returning viewer, if you're a new viewer to this channel and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We have updates every single day about the New York Yankees and get you guys all caught up on this busy offseason. But getting right into this video, as we are talking about Catel Marte, one of the Yankees' prime offseason dreams and hopes that we can get Catel Marte in the Bronx for 2026 and beyond. He's a star infielder for the Arizona Diamondbacks, has been doing really well with the team. He got a first team all MLB yesterday, and he has been able to have a really good career in Arizona and over his career since 2017. Been a great infielder, been a great, player on the Arizona Diamondbacks, helping them get to the World Series in 2023. So definitely would be a big addition for the New York Yankees. And we just got news regarding Catel Marte and where he wants to go if he is traded. The Yankees are reportedly on Catel Marte's 5-team no-trade list, according to Jon Heyman. So if the dream to have Catel Marte in the Bronx is no more, as Marte made it known to a lot of people, including Jon Heyman, that he does not want to be traded to the New York Yankees. A part of me is hurt by this because I definitely wanted to see Catel Marte to be in the Bronx and just, showcase his talent, showcase who he is as a ball player in front of everybody. Because we obviously know Arizona, it's not as big of a market as New York. He did showcase that in the World Series in 2023, but if you know baseball and you've been following baseball for a while, I feel like the 2023 World Series is kind of forgotten about at this point, with the Dodgers winning back-to-back championships. And then you obviously have the Houston Astros, who were competing before that 2023 season. So they kind of get lost in the shuffle there, and Arizona didn't win that World Series, so you kind of get a little bit forgotten about. So a part of me is hurt because I definitely think putting on the Yankee pinstripes is one of the best honors in all of sports. You don't know how much of an honor that is until you go and play in Yankee Stadium and put on those pinstripes. So part of me is hurt by that, but a part of me understands trying to have a legacy with someone who isn't the New York Yankees and trying to go to a team that doesn't have a big market, so you don't need to try and be in the limelight and answer to the New York media. Definitely understand both sides of the ball right there. I definitely understand how he just wants to have a little bit more parity in this league because obviously the New York Yankees are one of the favorites to go to the World Series every single year. So trying to be out of that pressure situation, pressure market like New York, completely understand that, but it's definitely a bummer knowing that he doesn't want to go to the New York Yankees. Looking at his stats from last year, 283, 28 home runs, 72 RBIs. I did a video on Catel Marte possibly going to the New York Yankees, so check that one out a little bit more on his stats and everything like that. 893 OPS, so he definitely has the slugging numbers, but definitely has a lot of the hitting numbers as well to be able to have a 283 batting average and have 28 home runs. It's very impressive from the second baseman from the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he could have been a great addition for this Yankees team. He could have been in that position at second base, and then you can have a little bit of flexibility with Jazz Chisholm. And speaking of Jazz Chisholm, I think this would be something for the New York Yankees. Now they have to pivot to another direction here when you're looking at just how to improve this team. Jazz Chisholm had a great season last year. He did really well defensively in the regular season. He obviously had that error that a lot of Yankee fans are really pinning on him, and he definitely deserves that. But we can't forget that he had a 30-30 season, 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. He just has to improve the average. He has to improve the average, and he also has to improve a little bit with his attitude, because there's sometimes at the plate where you look at Jazz Chisholm, when he's locked in, he can, send the ball a mile away. But when he's not really locked in, he's kind of just swinging at pitches that are just he's been very uncompetitive at times. So it's very hot and cold when talking about Jazz Chisholm. That's why the batting average is at 242. So when you're looking at Jazz Chisholm, just got to be a little bit better at the plate and taking more pitches and being more competitive and being more, in the game when you're talking about Jazz Chisholm, because, he's a second baseman for the New York Yankees. And if he's wanting a contract and wants an extension and play his career in New York, he's got to improve a little bit on the attitude side of things. You definitely want some edge with Jazz Chisholm to, not be afraid to get in someone's face, but you also got to make sure that when you're on the field and you're playing this game, you can't get too out of character, because then it backfires on you, especially at the plate. So looking at the comparison between Jazz Chisholm and Catel Marte, obviously Catel Marte has more hits. He had 136 hits. That helped him with his batting average. Had a 4.4 WAR compared to Jazz Chisholm at 4.2. Jazz played 4 more games than him. 31 home runs, RBIs, and stolen bases obviously went to Jazz Chisholm, but everything below that went to Catel Marte. So they both were all-stars. They both were silver sluggers. So, but when you're looking at just the batting average and everything down below, that sometimes means a little bit more than just getting the ball out of the ballpark, because we've seen it with the MVP. We saw it with Aaron Judge. He had 54 home runs this season, and he also had a 331 batting average. He was the best player in baseball. Hands down. And if you're able to just trade that batting average from 242 to 283, you could have been one of the top players in baseball of Jazz Chisholm to have 31 home runs and a 283 batting average. So I think batting average has to improve, getting more hits, getting on a little bit more. And then you could have had, if you had more hits here, you could have had, maybe a 40-40 season, which that's definitely something that's very rare in this time in MLB. So Jazz Chisholm just needs to improve on the batting average, and really just needs to improve on, when you're looking at all these numbers, on base percentage, slugging, and OPS plus, he's able to improve a little bit on that, then he can be the all-around 5-tool player that the Yankees are really wanting out of him. And I definitely think with Catel Marte not going to the New York Yankees, it's a bummer, because I definitely think that he would have provided a lot of different things with his game. He's obviously not the best defensive player, but he does provide that consistent batting average, and he's gotten better over his career. He's gotten better as he's aged. And I think that's rare in this league, getting better as you age, especially being like a 32-year-old going into his age 33 season. So, but it does help out the Yankees in what they're dealing with right now in the outfield and in the infield. Obviously, that you have Cody Bellinger out there that the Yankees are wanting to re-sign, and Brian Cashman wants to bring him back to New York. Then you definitely have the prospects in Jason Dominguez and Spencer Jones. So there's definitely some rumors about getting another outfielder in here, whether it be Bellinger, whether it be trading for Steven Kwan, for example. Just a lot of different things that are going on with getting those guys. But if Catel Marte, he makes it known that he doesn't want to be for the New York Yankees, I think the Yankees just can pivot. They understand they're going to move forward with another piece. So this raises the question to you guys. With Marte out on the Yankees, what move would you like the Yankees to make next? Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on who you want to be in pinstripes in 2026 that will help this Yankees team and help Aaron Judge get a ring that can cement his legacy as an all-time Yankee great and an all-time great in the history of Major League Baseball. But that's going to do it for another edition of Yankees Digest. Appreciate all the support you guys are giving us on this channel. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified, comment down below. Let me know everything you're thinking of regarding the New York Yankees. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and let's go Yankees, and let's get another superstar in the Bronx.